All right, gang. So, wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the readings, or a couple of the readings for Rhythms of Rest, and how I'd like to see you tackle that if we can. So, just for context, the Benedict reading is the Rule of Saint Benedict, from which the concept of rule of life comes from, or sometimes referred to as rhythm of life within a spiritual community. So Benedict is quite specific in the rule. In contemporary society, we may view rest as a relaxed state of idleness, but Benedict's rule schedule is opposed to this kind of interpretation of rest. So you can kind of look at that when you get there. When we are not engaged in manual labor, how does Benedict establish the rhythm of those activities? This is what I hope you'll all be considering. So, an important note for the Benedict rule, this is the foundational idea behind the rule of life activity in our course. I mean, it's especially helpful for you to really get familiarized with this particular reading. So you'll want to know it. In the John de Joinville reading, we read the biography of King Louis the Ninth of France, which details the king's rhythm of life, including his rhythms of rest. So, how does such a busy king choose to use his discretionary time? What example is he giving, and what might be implications for the Christian leader to consider? So, the option for the Kempis reading calls us to consider how we invest our time. Are we going to put it in pursuit of riches or pleasure in this life, or learning for information's sake, or the pursuit of wisdom found only in following Jesus? So, and then he develops what it looks like to follow God. So notice that by using he uses historical figures there too. So what implications does his vantage point have for our development of the practice of rhythms of rest? So, and then finally, in the Merton reading, that would be a Catholic perspective, the author is addressing how we live in peace with our vocation. So, in this, Merton, he advises that in the busyness of the world, we do not have time for silence or solitude required for healthy human functioning, and that in such we might be tempted to solve this problem by seeking to embrace a more rigid monastic experience. So his suggestion, though, is not necessarily an abandonment of one order's rule of life or our situation for another. In fact, he advises against it, but the adjustment of our current context to embrace healthy human relationships, suggesting that until we do this, we cannot truly learn to rest alone with God. So, just some insights for the Plasher readings as you tackle them this week, and of course, one that's very important as you get ready for the final assignments in the course. All right.